Miami Heat coach Erik Spoelstra spent much of last week in Europe, and for good reason. Not only does the Heat have 3 current players preparing to take part in this year's EuroBasket tournament, but 2 of those players are recent Heat draft picks who are part of the organization's youth movement. Heat forward Simone Fontecchio will represent his home country of Italy. Heat forward Nikola Jovic is on Serbia's roster, and Heat guard Pelle Larsson is playing for Sweden, with Jovic and Larsson among the 7 players on Miami's roster who are 25 or younger. That had Spoelstra traveling through Europe last week, spending time in Stockholm to watch Larsson represent Sweden in a EuroBasket prep game against Estonia before heading to Belgrade to watch Jovic play for the Serbian national team in an exhibition against Slovenia. I was definitely motivated by Spoelstra watching. He's one of the best coaches in the world, if not the best, Jovic said during an interview after totaling 18 points and 7 rebounds in 19 minutes in Serbia's blowout win over Slovenia on Thursday with Spoelstra in attendance. He went the extra mile to come see me. I definitely wanted to show that I've improved and that I'll be even better next season. The Heat is hoping this year's EuroBasket experience will help Jovic and Larsson return as better versions of themselves this upcoming season, with the start of NBA training camps only 5 weeks away. The Heat is set to begin training camp on September 30th at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. But first, the 22-year-old Jovic and Serbia will begin EuroBasket on Wednesday against Estonia in Latvia. Jovic, who was taken by the Heat with the 27th pick in the first round of the 2022 draft, averaged career highs in points, 10.7 per game, assists, 2.8, and minutes, 25.1, last season in his 3rd NBA season. Jovic's challenge is staying healthy and carving out a consistent role in the Heat's rotation after beginning last season as a starter, then being completely moved out of the rotation, and ultimately thriving in a 6th-man role off the bench during the back half of the season. "I'm really excited for Nico," Spoelstra said during a television interview while he was in Belgrade last week, with Jovic eligible to sign an extension with the Heat this offseason. "I love it when he spends time with the national team. Every time he comes back to us, he comes back more mature. I think being around a group that knows how to win, that really cares about winning, the team is so connected also. So, I think it makes a big impression on him. We're looking forward to some great things ahead for him with us." Larsson, 24, and Sweden will start EuroBasket on Wednesday against Lauri Markkanen and Finland in Finland. "We just want to have him as an all-around player," Spoelstra said of Larsson during a television interview while he was in Stockholm last week. "He's a very smart player, he's a heady player, very skilled. So, during Summer League, we just had him handle the ball for us. It's more for his player development. It's not that we're trying to turn him into a point guard. But the more skills you can add, it can help your team, and he's a physical player. We call him a bully with the basketball. He knows how to draw fouls, he knows how to get into the paint, he's improving his passing. We think with improved ball handling, he'll be able to take advantage of those skills even more." Larsson has already had a productive offseason, impressing during Summer League. After an encouraging rookie campaign last season, Larsson flashed his growth and talent by averaging 17.4 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists per appearance in his 5 Summer League games this year. Larsson, who was selected by the Heat in the 2nd round of last year's draft, earned the Heat's trust as a rookie after beginning last season out of Miami's rotation. He went on to log double-digit minutes in each of the final 6 regular season games he was available for before missing the last 3 games of the regular season because of a sprained ankle and then returning to the Heat's rotation in the playoffs. With Spoelstra labeling Larsson as an elite role player, even before his rookie season began, he showed why Spoelstra put that tag on him when he did get playing time. Larsson's hustle, pesky defense, and cutting ability immediately stood out, averaging 10.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2.2 steals per game, while shooting 44% from the field and 36.8% on threes during his final 6 regular season appearances. Larsson now wants to prove he deserves a bigger and more consistent role with the Heat in his 2nd NBA season. He has $977,689 of his $2 million salary for next season already guaranteed, with the rest becoming guaranteed if he's still on Miami's roster on opening night. "You can see at the end of the year, he started to carve out a bigger role," Spoelstra continued on Larsson. "What he does are the things that we value. He's so tough, he makes winning plays, he's a great role player. He fits around your best players, and he will continue to get better because he has a great work ethic. And outside of that, he's just a great human being. We like that balance of players that really know how to compete between those four lines, put it all out there to try to help your team win, but also can be good people and get along with the other teammates. And he does that extremely well. Jovic and Larsson are a big part of the Heat's internal improvement plan after being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons. The Heat's hope is their growth will be on display during EuroBasket in the coming days and weeks. Well, hopefully we're going to be a lot better than last year, Spoelstra said of the Heat during his interview on Swedish television. We had to really navigate quite a few things during the season. But we did make the playoffs. The playoffs did not go how we wanted to go, but the league is tough. It's very competitive. We pride ourselves on finding a way to compete for a championship every single year, so that's what our standard is. That's what we're aiming to do this year, and I think we have a good group. We have an exciting group of young players like Pell, and we have experience and have that competitive drive that we look for. So it's a matter of putting it together and getting out there and competing for it. The Miami Heat have always been one of the league's most fascinating teams, tough, gritty, and never afraid of the underdog label. Yet when the NBA 2K26 ratings dropped, Heat fans were left scratching their heads. After a chaotic 2024-25 season that ended in turmoil and the departure of Jimmy Butler, Miami was expected to reset and refocus. Instead, what we got in 2K26 was a set of ratings that just don't line up with reality. Several Heat players were either overvalued or undervalued in ways that make no sense when you look at their skill sets, production, or roles. Below, we'll break down 5 players whose ratings simply don't add up and why 2K26 might be underrating this Miami squad as a whole. Bam Adebayo, a step too low at 88 OVR. Let's start with the face of the Heat, Bam Adebayo. The big man checks in at an 88 OVR, which feels like a ceiling he's been stuck at for years. The problem? Bam continues to evolve, and his rating hasn't caught up. Miami's offense increasingly runs through him. He's more than just a defensive anchor. His playmaking from the elbow and ability to create mismatches in transition make him one of the most versatile centers in basketball. A 78 3-points rating might be generous given his low volume from deep, but his dunk rating, 80, is far too low. Bam is a ferocious finisher who thrives in pick and rolls, often bullying defenders and dunking through traffic. Realistically, Bam should be in the 90 to 91 OVR range, putting him on par with the league's other elite big men like Anthony Davis and Jaren Jackson Jr. Tyler Herro, inflated by reputation at 86 OVR. On the flip side, Tyler Herro's 86 OVR feels like a product of hype rather than production. Sure, Herro has the All-Star tag slapped next to his name, but let's not kid ourselves. His game hasn't consistently elevated Miami when it matters. His 84 3-points rating makes sense. He's a great shooter. But his 60 dunk rating is irrelevant because he rarely attacks the rim with force. The bigger issue is defense, and 2K completely ignores it. Herro is still a liability on that end, and his inability to stay in front of quick guards makes it difficult for Miami to hide him. If anything, Herro should be sitting closer to 82 to 83 OVR, still a valuable scorer, but not the second star his rating suggests. Norman Powell, the most overrated Heat player at 84 OVR. While Herro may be slightly inflated, Norman Powell's 84 OVR is egregious. Powell is a strong role player, but 2K treats him like a borderline star. An 86 3-points rating is reasonable. He's streaky, but can catch fire. The 80 dunk rating, however, makes him look like prime Zach LaVine. Powell hasn't been that level of an impact player in years. He's a third or fourth option at best, and his inconsistency makes him unreliable as a nightly scorer. An 80 to 81 OVR would make far more sense for him, especially when compared to Heat teammates who actually drive winning more consistently. Miami is underrated as a team. When you put all these pieces together, the biggest takeaway is this. NBA 2K26 simply doesn't respect the Miami Heat. By holding Bam down, inflating Herro and Powell, and dismissing players like Wiggins and Jaquez, the game paints an inaccurate picture of this roster. Miami may not be a title contender right now, but they're much better than their current 2K representation suggests. With Bam anchoring both ends, Harrow providing spacing, and underrated depth across the roster, this is a team capable of surprising people, both in real life and in the virtual world. The Heat's NBA 2K26 ratings are wrong across the board. Bam deserves superstar treatment. Harrow and Powell are rated like stars when they're not. Wiggins and Jaquez are left in the shadows despite their clear value. It's a frustrating reality for Heat fans who know their team's true ceiling. But maybe there's an upside. Players like Jaquez and Wiggins won't be underrated for long if they continue to perform. By mid-season, expect Miami's roster to look much different, both in the standings and, hopefully, in the next NBA 2K ratings update. Shaquile Oneal has never been one to hold his tongue, and his latest story about Pat Riley is pure vintage Shaq. Appearing on the Straight Game podcast, the Hall of Famer opened up about his time in Miami and one particular moment when Riley tried to get under his skin by comparing him to Alonzo Mourning. Pat was more do this, do that. Like when I first got there, he was like, "Oh, your body fat needs to be 11. I was like, "I don't do that ***T. We all know Pat is a stat guy. So one day, he brought Alonzo Mourning and me into the office. He said, "Alonzo, take your shirt off." And Alonzo was built like a He-Man doll, right? He's like, "I need you to look like this." And I was like, "Oh, mother **** or look good." But then I pulled out my piece of paper on his ***. I said, "But let me tell you something. This is how much I average on 39, 17, and 4. I said he got the six-pack and all that. I like to eat burgers. But this is what I average on him. I'm not doing that." So he didn't like the fact that I would stand up to him. It was the perfect Shaq response, self-aware, humorous, but backed with undeniable facts. And he wasn't lying. Against Mourning, one of the most respected defenders of the era, Shaq flat-out dominated. Oneal owned a 13-3 career record against Mourning, and the stats paint the picture. He averaged 30.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 3.0 blocks per game in those matchups. Mourning, a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, put up solid numbers himself: 21.1 points, 9.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 2.0 blocks, but when it came to head-to-head battles, Shaq was simply on another level. There were nights when Shaq seemed unstoppable. He once dropped 46 points and 20 rebounds on Mourning. Another time, he hung 40 points on him. Across their careers, Shaq posted 7 games of 30-plus points when lined up against his fellow Hall of Famer. So when Riley pointed at Mourning's chiseled frame as the standard, Shaq already had the trump card. He didn't need the bodybuilder look to impose his will. He had the numbers, the rings, and the dominance to prove it. Shaq's Miami tenure will always be remembered for bringing the franchise its first championship in 2006 alongside Dwayne Wade, but it wasn't without turbulence. His strong-willed personality often clashed with Riley's iron fist style. On the same podcast, Oneal recalled how things boiled over before his 2008 trade to Phoenix. "I told him, mother ***** put me out," Shaq said of his heated scuffle with Riley. Not long after, the Heat shipped him to the Suns, ending an era that had already produced a title but couldn't sustain harmony. For fans, the story is classic Shaq, a reminder that while Mourning was sculpted like a god, Oneal was the immovable force who bent the game to his will. His comeback to Riley captures what made him special. He wasn't interested in fitting someone else's mold. He was interested in results. And the results? 5 finals appearances for championships, and a career built on proving that the big man who ate burgers could still dominate anyone in his path, even Alonzo Mourning.